Hello there you guys, welcome to another one of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be updating you on some more current latest news. So there's quite a bit to talk about on this video today, so I would appreciate it if you do smash that like button, or if you do consider subscribe, or at least put your feedbacks underneath this video. So reportedly this is regarding David De Gea and quite a few other stuff I'm going to update you with, as I updated you yesterday about the situation, what's potentially going on with Mourinho regarding Jose Mourinho, the problems with Mourinho at the club, and also potentially, we've got a catalogue of players that are coming to the end of the deals, and currently the board and the owners want to basically focus on, about January, focus on the majority of these players that are coming to end of the deals to sign new contracts at Manchester United, but potentially David De Gea is currently due to come to an end of his current contract at the end of the season. Reportedly, his current representatives have been in negotiations with trying to secure David De Gea this contract extension at Manchester United, but accordingly, it isn't successful at the moment, as reportedly David De Gea is basically refusing to sign this new deal at Old Trafford. Potentially the best goalkeeper in the world, the goalkeeper we've had since 2011. So I think this is like his seventh or eighth season now at Manchester United. But yeah, his representative been in discussion on signing a new deal. He has refused to sign this new deal at the moment. Mourinho said in the press a couple of weeks ago that he wasn't too convinced that David De Gea was going to sign this new contract extension at Manchester United. We know what's going on at the club, what's going on with Jose Mourinho. This is his third season at the club. We know quite a few players have had feel annoyed with Jose Mourinho with his tactics, with his reluctance to drop Nemanja United. So some of the players have actually are unhappy with Jose Mourinho with his managerial style, his style of play. So potentially David De Gea, it says in the press, could leave in the summer. Basically if Man United, can't secure this new deal, Man United will want to cash in for the goalkeeper, in the summer, of course. But reportedly he's admitted De Gea, is a winner, and he basically wants to be up there challenging for major honours. He wants to be up there competing, like a lot of these players do, and it's not happening because, as I said, we need this team to be comparable, to the team that Alex Ferguson had. He spent money, but since he's left, we spent £1 billion like in all managerial areas. We had three different managers, with different styles of play, different philosophies, and basically we need what we hope the team would be comparable to the team that Alex Ferguson had. We know Mourinho's still inheriting some of the players Van Gaal got in and Moyes got in, and there's still some of the players here, that Alex Ferguson had, but we need players, we'd hoped that these players, especially that Mourinho's brought into the club, he's bought 11 players and just spent under £400 million. We want, the players, especially Mourinho's bought, and we want these now to have a good career at Manchester United, be challenging for silverware, like we used to do with the Fergie. So we want this team, especially like Mourinho's brought in, to be comparable to the team that Alex Ferguson bought. And that team with Alex Ferguson were up there competing. They were fantastic legends up there competing, winning silverware year after year more or less. But especially with the team we've got now, and especially the players Mourinho's bought in, they're not having such a good career at Manchester United. At this moment in time, we're currently with the position we're in. We're currently 12 points from top, 7 points from top four. Mourinho's tactically been getting it wrong. Reportedly, he's going to get around £100 million spending spree in the January window to spend. He's got a few priority targets of Mourinho to get in that centre back position. He's also interested in an attacker to lead the lines as well. But talking about De Gea, yes, I hope he does sign his contract extension. We've had great goalkeepers over the years, like Edwin van der Sar was fantastic. Tim Howard, Fabian Barthez. We've had a lot of good goalkeepers over the years. We've had great legends in the past. Manchester United under Fergie, Scholes, fantastic. Giggs, fantastic. Rooney, fantastic. In the last 3 or 4 years, Manchester United, Rooney became a bit of a downfall. He was at his boy club Everton, where he risen up the ranks with Everton. Fergie got him in 2004. He was very, very good in the Euros 2004 as well, and he had he won 16 trophies with us, 253 goals. Wayne Rooney, 208 in the Premier League. And basically he looks very, very good alongside Tevez and Cristiano Ronaldo and all that. Did Wayne Rooney, also England's all-time top goal scorer as well. Played yesterday in the England USA game. Making his farewell appearance. Wayne Rooney is currently now, as we all know, playing in the MLS is Wayne Rooney. It was fantastic. I have great memories from Wayne Rooney. He scored that over kick against Man City. That goal he scored against Stoke from that free kick. He's currently at Manchester United's all-time top goal scorer. And then in his last 3 or 4 years, he became a bit of a flop, did Wayne Rooney. I thought Ronaldo was amazing for us. We could do with Ronaldo, but now we know that's not going to happen. We had 5 or 6 great years out of him as well. We've had we've had great, fantastic players over the years. We've had Solskjaer, Sheringham, Bruce, Giggs, Roy Keane, Gary Neville, Phil Neville, Vidic, Ferdinand. All them fantastic, fantastic players. Michael Carrick, who was your Fluish at Manchester United. But this team now, at this moment in time, what Jose Mourinho's got is this team is nothing comparable to the team what Alex Ferguson had, because this team is not challenging at the moment. You can put blame on the manager as well. We're not challenging for silverware. We're not up there competing, as we should be, considering the amount of money we've spent on players. But potentially for me, I hope David De Gea does sign this new contract extension. Negotiations aren't successful yet. It's not going very, very well at this moment. But De Gea has admitted he wants to be up there, elevating to that higher level. He wants to be up there challenging for silverware. And, at Manchester United at the moment, with the problems that are going on, it's currently not happening at this moment in time. Mourinho wants to sort the defensive issues out as well. Reportedly, it says in the press, Mourinho's wants Eric Bailly out, who can't even get into the team at the moment, who we got from Villarreal in 2016. He wants Marcos Rojo out. For me, he hasn't been the same player since he suffered that injury against Anderlecht. Potentially, Matteo Darmian wants to leave the club as well, because he's only played once this season for Manchester United as Matteo Darmian. A few Italian teams are interested in him. He's well proven in Italy. He's got experience of being in Italy with Torino. It's his 4th season now with United. Darmian's, but Mourinho, I think, wants to keep him to at least the end of the season, but potentially he could go in January. Luke Shaw's been mainly playing at left back position this season. We know he had disputes with Mourinho last season, so he wasn't playing a lot. Luke Shaw. We know he's injury prone. We know he's known for injuries. Is Luke Shaw. We know Luke Shaw's known for injuries as well. And he had disputes, of course, Mourinho last season. But potentially Jose Mourinho's looking to cash in on a couple of defenders to get a strong centre-half. And, because we've conceded 21 goals this season in the league, for 12 games. It's a very, very bad goal difference. And reportedly, it says Man United are interested in Toby Alderweireld. Mourinho was heavily linked to him during the summer. Man United didn't get the pursuit of him. He's a player he's proven in the Premier League. He's been at Southampton, now he's at Tottenham. I think this is his 4th season now with Tottenham. Is Toby Alderweireld. He's had experience of being in Spain with Atletico Madrid, where he won his title in his 1st season and got to the Champions League final. He also has experience of playing in Dutch. With Dutch, he was at Ajax and he won 3 titles with Ajax, where he was up the ranks with Ajax. I think Tottenham rated him around between 26 and 40 million pounds. Mourinho, I think, he'd complement our defence fantastically well, because reportedly he can play as centre-back, he can play as a left-back as well. Reportedly, Jose Mourinho's also, as it's updated in the press, been interested in that Napoli centre-half. I can't pronounce his name. Remind me if I get it wrong. It's Koulibaly, Koulibaly or something like that. He's a current Napoli defender. Supposed to be, he's written the headlines across Europe. Reportedly, he looks a very, very good player. I've never watched him, but according to the media, he's a player that's had a lot of experience with Italy. He's with Napoli now. I think he's been in Italy since 2014. So I think this is like his 4th or 5th season now with Napoli. Reportedly, he's made around 175 appearances as a player. Reportedly, he's been at Metz in the past and he's been at Genk in the past as well as the player. Reportedly, he's got a new contract with them. He's just recently signed a new contract until 2022-2023 season with them. So he's just signed a 5-year deal, a 4 or 5 year deal with Napoli. Reportedly, Manchester United are interested in him. Reportedly, Jose Mourinho identifies him as a main priority target. But reportedly, he's got very, very good passing ability. He's supposed to be very, very good in the air. He's supposed to be a very, very good strong tackler. He's very large. He's very quick as well. He's this defender. But reportedly, he's standing out well in the Italian league. Is this current player, and he's reportedly made 174 appearances. And for me, he's made 174 appearances, and for me, for what I've read of his stats and that, he seems to be a good player. So do you think, Mourinho, likes him obviously, because he's interested in him. Do you think he'd complement our defences area as well as a good strong centre back? But yeah, reportedly Man United have been interested in him as well. Mourinho's been interested in quite a few centre halves, as we all know. That right, we know Manchester United are still in talks of securing these players' new one-year deals, Valencia and Ashley Young. It come out in the press the other day that Man United were in talks of securing them a further one-year deal at the club. They are 33 now. They have experienced the fantastic times, what Manchester United have Young and Valencia. Valencia's been here a decade. We got him from Wigan. He experienced the good times under Fergie. Valencia, same too with Ashley Young. Valencia was our central right back when Ashley Young's been playing there. For me, he's more of a right winger. As I said, he plays there for England, played there in his Aston Villa days. Mourinho just puts him at that right back position. Valencia, as I said, is currently being injured, so he hasn't played for a while. Doyle's been injured; he hasn't participated much since he's come to the club. We only spent we only spent, was it £60 million on 3 players during the summer window. We got a second choice keeper, Lee Grant. Potentially, if David De Gea goes, we will need a good replacement, and it's going to be hard to find a goalkeeper of his calibre. If David De Gea does actually leave the club, he's obviously not feeling happy with Manchester United. But yeah, as I said, Doyle, we only got 3 players, so Jose Mourinho was basically disappointed. As I said, with the window that he missed out on a strong centre because he wants to address them defence's issues up as well. Reportedly, Paul Pogba, he missed the Manchester derby. There's been talks about him potentially making a return to Juventus because supposedly he's our most essential midfielder is Paul Pogba. I think he did very, very well during his Juventus days, his 4 or 5 years with Juventus. He left Manchester United, to go to Juventus, in 2012, obviously because he wasn't getting enough first team action under Alex Ferguson. This is why Paul Pogba went. He had a good pedigree with Juventus. Then we got him for £89 million. I just don't think he's getting used to the Premier League, Paul Pogba. At the moment, he has had a good game here and there, but I just don't think he's fitting in the Manchester United agenda properly. At this moment, we know he's had disputes with Jose Mourinho. We know that he's had disputes with Jose Mourinho as Paul Pogba. Potentially for me, Mourinho needs to drop Nemanja Matic. We know Mourinho has a good relationship with Nemanja Matic because he used to work with Matic at Chelsea. Did Jose Mourinho. But the players are frustrated by this. Why he's basically been reluctant to drop Nemanja Matic out of the squad. He's causing the problems. He's no tempo to his plays, no creativeness. He's tall, so he's probably good at winning headers, just like Marouane Fellaini is. But you can't put them in a midfield, especially against Manchester City. As I said, he needs to give Pereira the chance. Put Fred in there, who we paid £50 million for. You could even put Fellaini in there, because Fellaini can play well, sometimes when he is playing Marouane Fellaini. But De Gea, Martial's, these players that I couldn't send the deals, they're in potentially the same situation as De Gea. Anthony Martial, currently his representatives has been in talks of securing him a new deal. Martial, who currently turned down the previous contract offer, reportedly it says we're going to offer him 45 million a year annual salary, offer him a 5-year contract term added onto that. Based on his fantastic performances this season, especially he's been full in Romelu Lukaku's spot. We know Lukaku hasn't been in great form this season for Manchester United. He hasn't been in great form, so he hasn't scored in like 9 or 10 games. Obviously, he came on against Manchester City, but everyone talks his big game bottler, his first touch. Lukaku is Premier League proven, because he did well with Everton. He's a goal machine. He's a prolific goal scorer. Last season he did very, very well with Manchester United. Did Lukaku, but he hasn't been on form this season. He has recently been injured as well. But obviously Martial and Rashford have been full in his spot. For me, Anthony Martial, I hope he does sign this new deal. Mourinho, I think from his perspective, he wants to stay. He's got all of his career ahead of him, to achieve more silverware, especially at Manchester United. He hasn't really witnessed the good times since he's come to United so far, because obviously he wasn't here under Fergie. But he's still young and he will grow and develop, and, whatever, if Mourinho can get it right, or if we sack him and get a new manager, Martial's got all the time ahead of him, to to experience getting some silverware, which he really hasn't done. Not the Premier League and Champions League, of course, but he's obviously won everything else. Just basically like Marcus Rashford, who's been in United Academy since 7. That's where he does the ranks. I think he's an absolutely fantastic young player. Very, very good young player indeed. He's Marcus Rashford as well. But potentially we could see players go in January. We could see players go in the summer as well. If Manchester United don't improve, or if Jose Mourinho potentially stays, or Jose Mourinho keeps choosing the wrong team selection and he's tactically getting it wrong, then these players will become more and more frustrated with Jose Mourinho, and they'll potentially want to play for the club, that's a lot bigger, that's playing well, that's up there competing with the top teams. They just basically don't want to be playing for the team, that isn't competing and that's sitting 8th in the league, and that shouldn't be happening, considering the amount of money we've spent. We know Mourinho has got a good pedigree. He's proven in the Premier League with Chelsea. Everywhere else he's been, he's proven as well. But it just hasn't worked for him at Manchester United at this moment in time. There's still, fans that want Jose Mourinho out of the club. The board are basically backing him now. Mourinho said he's convinced we can still get the top 4. As I said, so basically Mourinho's got to get us prepared. He's got to get us prepared for the Palace game and get it right. And I think, to be fair, Barley hasn't got into the team, but to be fair, Lindelof this season, we got him from Benfica last season, but I think, to be quite fair, he struggled in his first season, but I think this season, to be fair, Lindelof has made a very, very good impact, and I think he's improved at that centre-back position, but, they can see the defensive problems, so we still need a strong defender as well. Potentially, could we see Sanchez go in the January window or next summer? For me, Sanchez is well proven in the Premier League. He has failed to establish himself at Manchester United as Alexis Sanchez. He's only scored 4 goals since he's come to the club. He was good in his Arsenal days, good in his Barcelona days, and good in his Udinese days. He's on $500,000 a week at Manchester United. Hasn't really delivered the goods at Manchester United. He's versatile. He can play in different positions. He mainly operates in that number 7 position anywhere, does Sanchez. But obviously Martial's currently ahead of him at the moment because Martial's in form. Sanchez is not in form. Since he's come, we've only had him since January. PSG have been linked with him. A lot of United fans want to see him go. Would you give him a bit more time? Because sometimes it does take time for players to settle in, to get used to this era. But I just don't think. I think Sanchez feels unsettled at the club. I think he's not satisfied with Mourinho's managerial style. He's not satisfied, with his style of play. Alexis Sanchez, but potentially for me, the players I'd love David Isaac, Manchester United, good 2-footed player, good in the air, can put balls into the box. Inter Milan would demand that £48 million a year or so ago. Man United were reluctant to pay. This is why we never got the pursuit of Ivan Perisic. But I would have loved him at Manchester United. He's highly experienced as well. It had definitely sorted that left-hand side out. Because Sanchez isn't delivering the goods. We've got Martial and Rashford who can play in the centre when Lukaku's not playing. They're mainly, they usually, play on the left, but obviously they're still young and they need to get a bit more experience because they're only young. We need more of, an older left winger, with more experience, and Ivan Perisic would have been ideal. He's not world class, but he would have been ideal. But I thought Sanchez would have, to be fair, delivered the goods, but he just basically hasn't. But obviously, sometimes when new players come in, you're experiencing a new area, you're under a different manager, you're at a different team, you're playing around different players, and this is, Sanchez obviously he's now doing this now at Manchester United, and he just unfortunately hasn't produced the goods. Reportedly, his agent's been in discussions with Real Madrid about him potentially making a move to Madrid as well. But for me, he potentially could leave as well. There's quite a few players that are not happy with Jose Mourinho. But the board are backing him. As I said, reportedly he's going to get £100 million in January. Reportedly, there has been talks about him getting sacked. There's been talks about Zidane and Conte potentially coming into the club to replace Jose Mourinho. As I said, Zidane's manager at the moment. He had a good pedigree with Madrid. Also playing for Madrid, did well with Juventus. One-ons with Madrid and Juventus. He's been in discussions with his representatives about coming to managing English football. Also, PSG and Bayern Munich are battling for him as well. Bayern Munich are currently not happy with their manager. Basically, it says in the press. So basically, Bayern Munich could be favourites to Zinedine Zidane. He reportedly said Conte could replace Jose Mourinho at Old Trafford. Conte, I wouldn't want him at Man United. I know he's proven in the Premier League, with Chelsea, winning the Premier League with Chelsea in his first season. Conte, You know, Juventus, played for Juventus in his senior career, also managed Juventus, managed Atlanta, managed Italy, played for Leeds in his senior career as well. I think that's where he began his career. Conte, so there's potentially been talks about him coming to replace Mourinho if Mourinho is sacked. Basically, we have to meet the expectation levels, and we haven't. But basically, we have to get top four this season, and we have to get Champions League for next season. If not, Mourinho's probably likely to be sacked. Then, as I said, but there has been loads of narratives and storylines about potentially who could take over, players coming to end the deals, players could leave. There's been a lot going on in the media, but we know this team is not comparable to the team that Alex Ferguson had. You know, they won, you know, like Scholes, as I said, like Giggs, like Keane, like Van Nistelrooy, like Ronaldo, like Tevez, like all them great legends we had over the years. You know, winning silverware at Manchester United under Alex Ferguson, and this team's just not being comparable to that. You know, we're not the team we used to be. You know, one of my best times as a Manchester United fan is when we won the treble in 1999. Also winning the Champions League in 2008 when John Terry missed the penalty. You know, winning the Premier League 3 times in a row, 2007, 2008, 2009. Unlucky not to win it in 2010. We lost it to a point by Chelsea. You know, we was definitely unlucky to lose it in 2012 when Aguero scored that late winner. You know, so we could have potentially won it more than 20 times all in all. But this, you know, Alex Ferguson achieved so much great. You know, he was a fantastic manager. You know, he gained so much silverware. You can remember all them comebacks, you know, that we've done, them late goals. And, you know, we have been doing it with Jose Mourinho recently, to be quite fair. You know, before the Manchester derby, you know, we've scored late goals, produced late comebacks, but the performances are just basically not up to scratch as well. The Manchester, you know, we were potentially one of the best teams in the world under Alex Ferguson. You know, as I said, you know, we had, as I said, all them players we had, you know, we potentially were one of the best teams in the world. But now, since he's gone, we're potentially not even in the top 10. You know, we're not even in the top 10. We're nowhere near the same levels as City now. We're nowhere near the same levels as Chelsea. We're nowhere near on the same levels as Juventus and your Madrids and your Barcelonas. We're nowhere near on the same levels as them. I know under Fergie, you know, potentially you could have said we still probably wouldn't have been as good as Barcelona, you know, because obviously Barcelona now is still not as good as they used to be. But, you know, under Fergie, we lost to Barcelona twice in the Champions League final. Yet again, we beat them in the Champions League semi-final back in 2008 as well when Paul Scholes scored that goal. Potentially, we wasn't as good as Barcelona, but we wasn't far. We was as good, but we wasn't better than Barcelona. But we were still one of the best teams in the world at that point. But we're not even in the top 10 now as one of the best teams, and we've spent a hell of a lot of money, and the money has been wasted basically at this moment in time because the players are not delivering the goods, the manager's getting it wrong, and we're not in a commanding position that we should be. You know, we have got a very good side. It's just that the team is not gelling, and that's what it is. You know, the difference is Mourinho's philosophy isn't very good at United. City have also spent a lot of money. Liverpool spent quite a bit of money under Jurgen Klopp, but their team are gelling, and Klopp's, you know, got the addresses. He's, you know, bolstered the defensive area up, as I said. You know, same with Manchester City. Pep Guardiola's emulated the football did Barcelona by Munich. He's won silverware in his career, and he's brought this to Manchester City, and he's got them playing fantastic football. Liverpool are playing fantastic football. But Mourinho's work ethic and his managerial style isn't suiting Manchester United at this moment in time. But as I said, I would have been happy with Griezmann as well. I think, you know, Griezmann could play the number 9. He could play at front. He could have played in the number 7. Griezmann would have been absolutely fantastic. You know, it being beneficial because he does have a fantastic relation. He has a fantastic bond with Paul Pogba because they both play for France. So too, Romelu Lukaku has a good bond with Paul Pogba, you know, because I don't know why, because, you know, they've never... You know, Pogba and Lukaku have never played together in the past. We know they are now at Manchester United, you know, in the same squad, but they never played together in the past, Pogba and Lukaku. But somehow are very good friends. But I'd have loved Griezmann at Old Trafford, you know, very good in Spain. I'd have loved him at Manchester United. We didn't get him due to the transfer ban, but I would have loved him. I think he would have definitely delivered the goods at Old Trafford. But attackively, we need someone that can score more goals. Lukaku can do it, but we need a backup option for Romelu Lukaku in case Lukaku gets injured or he's not in the best of form, which he hasn't been this season, especially. So yeah, so potentially, Mourinho's not confident De Gea is going to sign this extension. I'm not too convinced at the moment. De Gea hasn't really took much notice. but he has refused to sign this new contract extension at Manchester United. Potentially for me, I hope he does. Manchester United now have to improve. We have to turn it around. And then David De Gea may think twice, because he basically wants these players, a goalkeeper of his calibre wants to be up there challenging for silverware and going for the Premier League, winning Champions Leagues, and we're not doing this. We are not doing this. Since Mourinho's come, we haven't. Fergie's retired, we haven't been that competitive. Let's be honest about it. And we're just gonna have to try and turn it around somehow. I just think some of these players are not playing for Mourinho. Mourinho has respect for some of the players, such as Matic, and he's respecting Martial for his performances this season. But defensively, we have to improve. And up front, we have to improve as well. Because we've never had this bad start to a season from what I can remember. We didn't even have this bad a start under David Moyes. We didn't even have this bad a start under Louis van Gaal. Louis van Gaal's philosophy wasn't very good, as we all know. He had a good pedigree with Bayern Munich, but something has to change around at Man United. We've lost. We're losing to teams that we shouldn't be losing, that would never lose to under Fergie, or hardly ever lose to under Fergie. We've lost 4 in 12 games. Is it 6 or 7 in all competitions this season? We'd lose under Fergie, probably 5 or 6 in a season, in one full season, not out of our first 12 games. But when sometimes when you have great managers, that succeed very, very well, and then all of a sudden he retires, all of a sudden your club currently changes because there's a new manager coming in to experience new facilities and a newer era. And since Fergie's retired, I had a feeling it was going to go downhill. I really did have a feeling it was going to go downhill. Then we spent money, we've seen players come in, we've seen players leave, and it just basically, the money we spent since Fergie's gone just hasn't worked out. And, I just don't know what's going to happen to change this around, and I'm very, very concerned about this as well. So anyway, tell me your opinions on this. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and there will be more live videos, I think, coming up later on today. So if you do consider subscribe, or at least drop a like on the video. And it's always a pleasure coming on here, and I do really, really enjoy it. So anyway, take care, God bless guys, and I'll see you all again very soon. Take care, bye.